Back with Disco Elysium. We finished in the Whirling in Rags, and we probably should check out that body, but for right now, there is someone just hanging out right here. Probably should have a conversation. A heap of snow melts in the wheelbarrow. The street sign reads, "Fuck the police." Why would someone put that up there? Pigs Go Home. The street name is illegible.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with?
You sound surprised.
We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all.
Well, I have some police questions for you.
Of course. What can I help you with?
What's all this, F the police business?
Excuse me?
She doesn't understand.
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning.
Well, I mean, Bully doesn't really have too much of a sense of empathy, so the street sign says, fuck the police, and, like, we point at it?
Oh. Well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here.
What about the other sign? Pigs Go Home? Who are these pigs?
I don't know anything about that either. As I said, I didn't write it.
No need to worry. We are not saying you did.
Okay. Well, I didn't.
Who are you exactly?
Me? I am just a gardener.
Good to meet you, just a gardener. Another question, then.
I am pleased to meet you too, officer.
We need directions.
Since the street sign's messed up? Okay. What do you need?
I'm looking for a dead body.
Oh, that's right there, in the yard.
She's relieved someone has come for it. Finally.
It's only been 1 week. Where am I?
What do you mean?
I'm disoriented. I don't know where I am.
Yes, sir. District of Martinez. This intersection is called Roundabout North.
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
Lieutenant seems uncomfortable with the level of disorientation I'm displaying. I would assume anyone would be. What's up in the north?
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really.
What's in the east?
The harbor gates. Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too.
And in the south?
Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably.
And what's on the other side of the canal?
Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago.
Rows of stalls under a broad roof, where silvery fish were heaped on newspapers. Water everywhere, pouring from the heavens in the shadow of the old church.
Shivers is a very evocative of visuals. Doesn't really just wants me to be able to imagine, to paint a picture in my mind of what might be there. What kind of fish market is this?
I don't know. The abandoned kind? It used to gather every spring, but there's nothing to do there now. Just drug addicts.
What's in the west, by the way?
It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach.
Oh, thanks. That's all for now.
No problem.
I have to run.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
She wipes her brow with her glove.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
One more thing. Can I borrow your gloves to handle a dead body?
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
She hands you the rubber gloves with no visible annoyance.
Really? None. Maybe just a tiny bit of annoyance.
Thanks. All right, we got some gloves. Let's see. Here we go. +1 interfacing, thick latex gardening gloves, and classic canary yellow. Maybe you should retire, take up gardening as a hobby. It's worth a thought. All right. There we go. Also, we have the pen with a green ape head on one end. The ape has closed its eyes, the kind expression adorning its face seems to be meditating. So I guess we could sell it for 1.35 real. That's still not much. We still owe a lot more than that. All right, so we should probably check out the dead body. Oh, hold on. Smells like spoiled meat and curdled dairy. A human being decomposes. This kid's ladder is rickety, but still climbable.
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath.
Let's look down.
A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in, even through your clenched nostrils.
Let's see. Well, there's a legendary roll, if we can let go of our nose without throwing up. Even with endurance so high, it's only 42%. God, what is that? Why is it so bad?
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
Well, maybe someone's judging. Well, I've been told, when it comes to the Twitch integration, that this one would allow the chat to possibly bolster one of my stats by weakening others. So let's see if that actually does anything for the endurance. There's like a red timer here.
As you breathe
Oh, we succeeded.
odor comes over you. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it. Your muscles tense up. The vision in your dead angle darkens. You feel the sudden urge to push your hand into his soft gut.
I don't know about that half-light. But at least endurance came through for us. Do they always do that? What are we asking?
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
Okay, you mean, do they rot like this?
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Inspect the boots.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow.
What kind of boots are these?
They are armor, no boots. Technically speaking, these are sabatons.
Okay, what kind of armor is this?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the hill. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
What happened to the rest of it?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days.
Well, that seems rude. Like robbing from a dead body?
We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe he'll know something.
The red-haired boy eyeing us suspiciously? I'm sure he'll be very cooperative.
If you wear those pieces, it will help me protect your mortal coil.
Yeah, I should find the dead man's armor and wear them myself. Why does my mortal coil need protecting?
Yes, bullets will fly. They always do. and the coil is fleshy and mush and permeable. Cast it in ceramic shell. Resist death.
Maybe he was just wearing these boots and there is no rest of the armor.
No, he must have worn something precious underneath his clothes. They've removed all his clothes to get to it. They did not just strip him for the putrid rags.
What if they told him to strip before they hung him, to demean him?
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fucking talking about underpants.
Yeah, for investigative reasons. The material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
Lieutenant draws a line in the condensation on the ceramic with his index finger.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
How much are we talking about?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
Ka-ching, baby!
By catching, do you mean let's not log them as evidence? Let's steal them?
No, that's not what I... No, that's not what I meant.
Of course.
No one would suggest such a thing. How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
Initial report?
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
Yes, sure. Yeah, these look pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Knock on the boot?
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup. Suddenly, your biceps coil up. Your elbow is sharp and cocked for a punch.
All right, that's what we do best. Punch it harder.
Your fist connects to the boot with the same ding. The sound does not appear to get louder.
Did you hear that? A click?
Yes, like dice rolling.
This is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads the incoming energy horizontally, from plate to plate. When the plates connect, there's a click. That's the sound you heard. See these lines?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether, like the scales of some ancient white monster, cracked and pearly.
Well, I mean, these boots seem either... that should be logged as evidence or sold. Either one is probably good, so let's pull the boot off.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Absolutely.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
That means something's happening, which, as far as I can tell, is good.
Stop!
The lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm.
He's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
What?
Even the mongrels can see you're about to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
Do what?
Pull his head off. There's no point performing an autopsy if you do. We'll have compromised the coroner's case. What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot?
Are we not detectives? There may be clues inside the boot.
Maybe we should concentrate on what's outside the boot and leave what's inside to the boys at processing? Just this once. Besides,
He taps on the boot.
there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
I just thought maybe I was more clever than the locals.
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around.
Sounds like a plan.
The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
What's going to happen to the boots then?
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
All right, let's back off and look at the
The
corpse.
cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Let's look at his belt.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. Oh my, there's something on the belt. A familiar word that speaks to the thirst within you.
What was that? A word.
Vermilion, in yellow letters, along the length of the twisting cargo belt. Only a deep longing for vermilion golden spirits lets you decipher the fading logo of the local brewery.
Hey, our crippling addiction to alcohol is coming through for us. This is a bad time for a drink, right?
Extremely.
What kind of rope is this?
Industrial strength. The kind used for tying cargo to lorries.
Like in a harbor?
Yes, it looks like they use whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating themselves.
So we're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it.
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
My past has undergone total annihilation. Nothing remains. My mother, the love of my life, certainly not a briefing.
Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get.
Okay, we got a side quest. They sure wanted him to stay there. The polyester seems strong.
It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see rabbits for more than 20 strands. This makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed.
How'd they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
He points to the buckle tying the belt to the branch above.
I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt. Buckle closes. It's what I would do. Seems easier than climbing up there.
All right, let's back off again.
Hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
Inspect the tattoos.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars.
What will mine be marked by?
Alcohol and heartbreak.
I guess we already knew the answer.
Your fist clenches suddenly.
Well, maybe I'll leave this one to the chat. Do you think our corpse will be marked by bullet holes, or will it be riddled by disco? What is the chat's prediction for the outcome for our Detective Cousteau? Yeah, it does seem like most people are hoping that we will be riddled with disco.
Decay is creeping on the tattoo. Already, most of the canvas that's holding it has darkened. Now, it disintegrates slowly, letting out a stink.
Is this a map of the night sky?
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great Century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you. The thought dissipates, and you feel as though you were only half right.
I'm missing something here.
So am I.
A sudden ringing fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Ooh, what's that?
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
He produces two metal-capped ampoules and clicks them into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then...
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
He shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. They say that you weren't actually supposed to shake the Polaroid. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but everyone did it. Cool machine.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter, to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Okay, we did get a new task. Can I have it? I should look at it later, without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
When do I lose anything?
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
I never really thought of a photo like that.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Well, those are our tasks. We probably should look at what we've been getting. There's the body. Inspect the body hanging in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags. This is a preliminary inspection. You just need to suppress the urge to throw up and approach it. You're in. Do a preliminary inspection of the different parts. So that's where we are right now for there. Where's the rest of the armor? Ask the kid throwing rocks, Kuno, what he knows. Get boots off feet. We don't know how to do that yet. Ask him to tell you about the case. Ask around about tattoos' possible meaning. And let's see, we completed the one where we asked the cafeteria manager about the murder and finding the other shoe. Let's see, what we wanted was... Actually, I don't think I can access inventory right now. Let's look at the body in the eye.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
58% to use Inland Empire to ask the corpse who he is. Well, maybe just wait a couple seconds and ask if the chat would, if it's possible for them to possibly make this, maybe improve the odds in our favor. So I'm going to click this, and we will see how this goes, if the percentage increases. Still not entirely sure how this works because I'm not seeing the actual interface on the stream. Well, still did... Oh, okay, no, it did improve. It went up to 72%. Let's see if we can talk to the corpse. Yes. Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Where's that?
In the past. Way out west.
I see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
Well, you are now, but who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, I mean, Bully has certainly done a lot of that himself. I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Kobo.
What's happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your...
Black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
Imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, Copperoony Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Of course not. The name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just a Harry or something. That's right. Harry.
No, it can't be Harry. I refuse.
Good for you.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, brother Copo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Well, I guess when it comes down to it, it's because he told me to.
You're a lying sack of shit, Copo. You're doing this because there is nothing else to do. Everything else is over. It's just me now.
I hate you. You stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
You don't remind me of anyone. No, of course not.
Or I do. You just don't want to admit it.
Enough.
Come back later, Copo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, see me in your dreams.
Oh, that was completely different than the text that's on screen. But I guess that means that maybe he's now a character that we can just come back to and talk to at any time, possibly. Squint and take a step back. Well, actually, I have something I need to know, Corpse Man.
Of course. You have questions, don't
Okay, no. Still the same ones.
Of your imagination is at your service. Come back later, Copo.
All right, let's squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink.
Let's observe that.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
I'm squinting, Kim. Why am I doing it?
How should I know why you are squinting, officer?
Let's squint harder. His face and hands are pink. Thighs, too. The rest is greenish.
Oh. You are trying to assess lividity.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he's dead and about to explode.
I think he's dead, Kim.
I agree. Totally dead.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to think. What do you think?
I think he was upright immediately after death. Blood has gathered in his hands and feet, and his neck.
He points to his fattened chin.
The noose acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis here is in tune with the hanging. That's what I think.
Could it be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
Something is coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death.
Maybe.
He doesn't really want to dwell on that, though. Should we worry? His stomach looks like it's going to explode.
There's a Strong buildup of gases, yes. Rigor mortis becoming livor mortis. He'll be fully limp by tomorrow. I don't think he'll explode. I hope not.
He's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
Like, he is throwing rocks at that body, and probably has been throwing them for a number of days. Let's back off and catch our breath.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
So, how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
I think we have gone over everything at this point. We've been thorough. Do you have a plan for getting him down?
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting it.
There's no question. There's only cutting. How hard can it be?
Physical instrument does have a point. I can cut the belt easily. Where are these chain cutters you mentioned?
I don't doubt your physical prowess, officer, but that's aircraft strength material, and we do not have a secure platform to perform the procedure on. The risk of acrobatic failure is one we cannot take. We must not become comedy for the locals.
The fuck have you got against comedy, pigs?
Seems like a lot of hassle. Maybe let's not take the body down.
We are not getting him down already. Not getting him down is a task that's already accomplished. Sadly, it's not our job to keep him up there, but to get him down.
Just pull his rotten head off. The meat's cooked anyway. Give the boot another yank, and it's done.
We could just pull the head off. I mean, we could just... It's real easy to do. We could just be done with this now.
It's tempting, but decapitating him will make it impossible to ascertain whether he was really hung. The damage to the neck would make coronary work pointless.
Well, we could saw the branch.
Climb up there and saw the branch?
Yeah, either one of us could do it. We could use the kid's ladder on the side of the tree.
I don't trust that ladder. The assailants didn't use it. It's rotten and less sturdy than it looks. And I don't see another good way up there. Honestly, I prefer a non-acrobatic solution to this.
Why?
Clown cops climb tree, fall down. Enraged cop assaults children after falling from tree.
Well, I mean, one would probably lead to the other, yes.
Cretin cop, they like that word, saws the branch he's sitting on, literally. Local children report corpse mutilation.
Fuck yeah, climb that shit, monkeys.
See, you're only making them do those things less.
So we're just going to let those kids bully us into not doing our work?
What I'm proposing is, we save acrobatic tricks as a last resort, after we've tried everything else.
Oh, these have got to be the most fucking boring mulka parts I've ever seen.
Maybe we could shoot him down.
Yeah, bang bang time, pig, shoot his head off.
How?
I don't know, just shoot up there, maybe?
Yes, the buckle, where it ties the cargo belt to the tree. If the shot hits that, then there might be a small chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss. The pigs will miss Kuno.
We probably shouldn't try. Our motorics are very low. Like, if one of us is going to try, it probably should be Kim. But I don't know what his stats are, but...
I'll blow his head off.
Take it. Take the shot.
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position. taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
Shoot that motherfucker down!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
"Oh my God, that was so many types of wrong. Who taught Four Eyes to shoot? Whip up a grueling training regimen for him right now. Beat the man into him. Go, go, go."
Well, Physical Instrument is disgusted by Kim's performance, but Physical Instrument is not. I don't think he decides how good of a shot we are. I believe that's hand-eye coordination.
Fucking idiot! Mookabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
Well, maybe Kim's just not going to be able to make that shot. We should probably just figure out something else.
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
Take his gun and show him how to use it.
Well, if Physical Instrument really wants us to try.
It's bad as it is, us shooting firearms like punks here. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't hit the victim.
I'm gonna need your gun for this.
They only have one gun!
Oops.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Officer, why do we only have one gun?
Remember when I told you I didn't have my badge or uniform with me when I woke up? I didn't have my gun either.
That is even more unfortunate than the badge. You need to contact your station about it as soon as possible. Try not to lose this one, please.
We take the gun.
Take it, you fucking banani poika! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
Let's feel the weight first.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
Kuno is silent. Aggression gathers in the air. The trigger feels delicate and ready to break under your finger.
Let's point the gun at the belt.
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Yeah, that's 17%. Close our left eye.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the morning light as the corpse slowly rotates.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
Well, you see, Physical Instrument was talking a whole lot of mess about making this shot, but I didn't think he was the one who was actually going to do it. It's hand-eye coordination who would be doing it. I guess we can try to get the chat to help. So we will click on that and see if we can increase our chances a bit. %. It has increased, but not that high. Let's hit it. That did not hit. That did not hit.
Smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. With your ears still ringing, you lower the weapon to see what happened. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No blood, only a murky sludge dripping down his belly. The sudden stink makes your eyes water.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry! I knew it! What a mulko!
Well, we need to look on the bright side of these things. We were concerned about pulling the head off because then we wouldn't be able to do an autopsy. But now the autopsy would be useless, so maybe we could just pull the body down. Yeah, I think this may be a blessing in disguise. You know, sometimes you just have to take the events as they come. There's something wrong with your weapon, Lieutenant. It keeps missing.
The armistice is sufficiently precise, officer, especially at close range.
He takes his sidearm from you and holsters it.
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's your pig hands.
No, pigs don't have hands, young man. You need clearly you need to learn some biology in school, which you should be in.
Pigs don't have hands.
Yeah, she knows.
Fucking hooves or something.
They don't even have thumbs. They wouldn't be able to pick up a gun.
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
He might be a better shot than us. Maybe I should leave this one to the chat. I'll just leave this as a poll. Does chat want us to have Kuno potentially shoot it down for us? So we're going to go with that vote and just see what we get. Yeah, chat is very confident in Kuno. Look, if Kim can't do it and we can't do it, what's wrong with enlisting a little civilian help? Lieutenant, we should entrust Kuno with your service weapon. He says he can shoot it down.
The lieutenant does not dignify that with an answer. He snaps the button on his holster and says,
We still need to get him down somehow.
His tone is growing tired now. The stench is making him turn away from the corpse. Well, Kim does not think it's a good idea. And it is his gun. But how?
The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down too.
Would it be dangerous?
To ask the suspects for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us to handle this ourselves. Clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitches.
I don't think that is an appropriate response to anything that we just said, Kuno S. What's wrong with being indebted to Everard Clare?
He's a dangerous and corrupt man, and we cannot predict what he will want from us in return.
Yeah? Don't go being someone else's bitches. You're Kuno's bitches.
Kuno, we have not yet established our status as anyone's bitches as of yet. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. How do we get inside the harbor?
From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. I'm unenthusiastic about fighting. Or we can try to find some secret third path. It's unlikely though.
But we are enthusiastic about fighting. That's kind of the thing we do.
Gates. Let's fight, I say.
Yeah, physical instrument is all for it. Someone's trying to grow herbs in the greenhouse. This winch mechanism has been oxidizing for some years. Well, before we talk to him, there's also something else to look at here. The letter R wears a crown. On the ribbon below, a light above, descending. Oh yeah, we can do that.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still.
Why am I looking at you, trash container? You're just a trash container.
The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Lieutenant, what do you think could be in there?
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence too.
Yes, I feel like there's something in there.
What do you mean, feel?
Maybe just a hunch. Maybe someone threw something in there. How do we get the lock open?
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or...
Did someone say Pry bar?
Fuck yeah, pry bar.
Pry bar, pry bar. Your palms yearn its cold touch, to grasp it once more, as you've done so many times.
No or pry bar.
We might want to ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one. And he also has information.
Ask the manager? Bullshit. Go straight for the pry bar and pry this baby wide open.
Sounds good to me. Believe the car. Yeah, here it is.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
All right, well, let's see. We want the pry bar.
The metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work.
Get that pry bar.
The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Cold and heavy, like truth. You feel like you're reunited with truth once more.
That's right.
Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids.
And what about the chain cutters?
The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand.
And the flashlight?
It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue, lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss.
And that's all the tools.
Toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
All right, we'll look at the rest of the car later. Let's, for right now, get this pry bar. Let's see. Yes, the photo of the tattoo. You can use the interact button in the inventory to inspect that item. Equip this to open locked containers in the world. All right, so we're holding that now.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, Whirling in Rags.
Jam the tool under the lid and pull. Well, wouldn't hurt to see if the chat can give me a little bit of a boost, because even with our physical instrument at 7, and with our pry bar in hand, we only have a 58% chance of doing it, so let's ask the chat to help us out with that. See if we can get a little bit more physical force that we can apply to this locked dumpster. And I'm real, just like information wants to be free, garbage wants to be free. Uh-oh, morale is critical. We have to heal ourselves now. Why can't I? Let's see. Where is it? Okay, there we go. That was our only morale health thing. Anyway, let's do this.
Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending.
No. Still is not opening. Still is not.
What is this? Your triceps ache for the metal to bend, but it resists. This calls for a potent curse to help break its resistance. Utter the power words.
The fuck kind of metal is this? This is fucking shit.
The quality of metal is not the problem. From what I see, it's sturdy enough.
Okay, let's try kicking the container.
Unsatisfying. Hurtful. You hear a ringing sound, but not quite hollow. The can seems to be full.
It withstood our kick? We took damage. It's like it kicked us.
full of itself. Content. Happy you failed. This snickering trash container is having a grand old time.
All right, let's hang from the pry bar with all of our weight like a child.
There's a creaking sound as the pry bar slips under the lid. You hang from it like a moron, huffing and puffing. Clearly the technique is wrong, but nothing else comes to mind.
I guess that's it. We can't pry it open.
Let's ask the manager for the key. This is clearly not working.
But I wanted to use the pry bar. I feel like I'm losing out on something not using the pry bar.
You are. The pry bar is quite satisfying and handy. But you are just not good enough at prying. We should get the keys.
All right. We're taking psychic damage by our failures at not being able to use the pry bar to open this dumpster. Our ego has taken some big knocks. Big knocks.
Can I help you?
Is the trash container out back yours?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
I wonder what this feeling is.
Prod at him and find out.
What if I told you I'm a hobo, or soon to be one, rummaging through that trash? Will you keep me out too?
Yes.
But I need those leftovers to survive.
Sir, I'm sorry the RCM is having financial trouble, but it's not this establishment's problem.
Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor?
Callous? What are you, Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not special in that regard.
We need those keys.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
I've seen something here at the Whirling Gart. A thing I need to talk about.
What thing?
Saw a sign that the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
He tosses his head in disdain.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
He gives us a meaningful nod. How do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
All right, so maybe some suspects to talk to. Gart, I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen, Gart?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Baby, I am a cook.
You're not. You're a menace. Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the real cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Something else I want to talk about.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the Whirling later.
By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
We need to find the song first. So, about that money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
How much do I owe you again?
A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
Well, let's talk about something else. I don't like talking about how much money I owe.
Like what? I was...
Well, let's say goodbye. All right. Well, we got the keys. I mean, I'm still disappointed that we were not able to pry it open and we took all this morale damage. our ego being bruised, at our inability to use our impressive physical strength to open the dumpster. Like, it would have been a symbolic victory. Releasing the tasty garbage within for the public. I mean, now we have to do it.
Is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says "Whirling in Rags."
Now we have to do it the man's way with the man's key.
With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, Hobocop. Dive into that dumpster for extra content.
I like content, but did I just have a premonition that there's something in there?
There is, but you won't like it.
Sweat
forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
But I like content.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
All right, well, dig in Hobocop style for extra content.
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
What's a knock cannon?
It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels, however. And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000, easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
I am into hi-fi now that you say so.
That's too bad, because none of those things are actually in there. There's just food waste and crisp wrappings.
A cruel jest. There must be something.
All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the Yellow Man frolicking in saffron.
An antique?
Only in its social sensibility.
Well, I guess we need to take it. It is content.
Mm-hmm.
The lieutenant briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash. All right, I guess that's an item we can do something with. Let's continue searching through the trash.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Are the turbo noodles still edible? They left out that important information. Let's pick at the rags.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
Could I wear them? I mean, it's evidence, so I guess I shouldn't. Let's bag the trousers.
Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but...
He looks into the container.
The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Well, we probably know where the belt is.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Ooh, something slimy.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Ooh, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage.
That's all, I think.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put them here.
What's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno. He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
Well, I mean, surely, I'm sure if we make an attempt, we could have a civilized conversation with the youngins. Let's proceed.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Ooh, we still have to search the food waste, which is the best kind of waste.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here.
Wow, not even Inland Empire can make anything of this.
What's this?
Oh, wait. What's that?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Let's pick it out.
They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Information.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
What? No. Why would my paperwork be in this dumpster? I don't think that could be the case. That's certainly not what this is here.
Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form.
A miserable-looking slip of paper sticks to the board.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
It must have been cramping my style.
Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations, and could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style, for all our sakes.
I don't know, man. Sounds like an order. I don't really take those.
I see, yes. You are what we call a badass, aren't you?
He makes little quotation marks around the words, indicating he is unsure of the actual badassery.
Tell me, does your badass see more in there, or are we done here? Oh, yes, and it would also be appropriate to start taking notes on the case. It's what cops do.
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Well, it would have been better if we were able to use that pry bar successfully. Oh, wait, hold on. What was that?
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Cool.
So cool.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Yeah, that is me. I have been establishing my superstardom hard lately.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop. Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bayi. Badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Action!
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
What's on? Well, we got a thought. Let's see. Some kind of superstar. Oh, Hobocop's at 63%, if you were wondering. Let's see. Temporary research bonus. -2 logic. Still seems unlikely. I mean, we only have 1 logic, so hey. Research time, hour 10 minutes. First, let's make this absolutely clear. No one is saying you're an actual superstar in the groupies and cocaine, riddled with hepatitis C, strikes a lion-esque pose with a mic kind of way. You're not Guillaume de Million or Davy Dewis, no. You're a metaphorical superstar. You bring that rock and roll authenticity and passion to a line of work where people don't expect or want to see it. Where some would say it doesn't belong. Law enforcement. Well, obviously we're going to internalize that. Oh, and also, let's interact with our ledger.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you.
Oh.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Inland Empire is warning us away, but content? Inspect the toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
No, we'll leave it there. That's it looks cool. That's what superstars do. It's my superstar toilet paper.
Way cool.
Inspect the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Run my finger across the aluminium.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Yeah, I guess that is something that we should know.
Your kill count. Yours will surely have your kill count.
Oh, Half-Life's way into that. How can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like, for example?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so getting the body down was updated with going to the harbor, asking for Everett Claire's help, find out who's in the Union box, and then that we would have to wait for them to go there to have lunch, I think. Who put clothes in the trash? Got to ask Kuno and Guard about it. Read the ledger, name the case. Oh, we're reading the ledger right now, so I guess we're doing that. Read the watermarks. Go to the Kanema, which is Kim's car, and turn on the lights.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
That's all, thank you.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Let's browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What's in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate, due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases, undertaken, not completed, mind you.
There was mention of a naming convention here?
Yes. It appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
And they're written in capital letters, too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Oh, can we read that one? Can we see how the unsolvable case was solved?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't
Well, I mean, maybe we just like investigating murders, not necessarily doing it ourselves.
Wish there was one in there about a drug then. You love those. Gets the blood pumping. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why is that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
You do have to find your own amusements on the job.
I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to him?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
It does seem like an appropriate name for the case. I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Well, hey, we can use the pen that we received. We have a purpose to have it. Instead of just selling it, we can write down our case file.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity.
Looks like it's starting to snow.
Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager.
Well, let's cross out the... Well, I mean, I guess this is what we intended to do before, the thing happened. And we didn't do any of those. But hey, we have now inspected the body and interviewed the cafeteria manager, so 2 out of 3.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. And a fuck you to you too. That last one cuts a slash right through the paper.
Yeah, that one feels good.
Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Shit on a stick?
Yes. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were on this case. So, do you have something less funny?
Well, I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, if we want to be poetic, the Furies are at home in the mirror. This case hasn't involved a mirror, though.
Furies? Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that refers to. And also...
He furrows his brow.
You make it less poetic somehow. Just a normal case name, Think, what would that be? A good normal name.
The Setting Sun.
Okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all. It has nothing to do with that, so...
I mean, I guess we don't know if it does yet.
Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete? Mundane, usual?
I don't think there's too much mundane and usual about our superstar cop.
Usual is boring. We don't do that.
I know we don't do that, but I guess it's what we're doing now. The Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Well, I'm done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
No, I don't suppose that logic check is going to go well. That logic check is unlikely. Let's browse the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper, some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
Let's look at misconduct fine.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
I wonder if we could fine Gart the amount of real that we owe him. Something to think about. Station call.
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
And field autopsy?
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
Well, the answer to that one is liquefied and running down his legs.
Color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
I didn't realize we had to examine that, but I guess while we're here, well, enough of these.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
What did you say the color was?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it.
Is there danger? Let's shake the ledger.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Ooh, let's peek inside.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. There's pain in there, if you want some. That much you know.
Well, we can take a lot of pain, I think. How would we open this?
With your hands. U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Oh, interfacing? That's Motorix. Better chances than I would have thought. Let's smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Well, I don't know if there's much of a point to trying the case files one, but hey, maybe we might be able to open the hidden compartment. 58%, but hey, maybe the chat can increase my chances a bit by increasing my Motorix. So I'm going to hit the button and see if maybe they can improve things for me a bit. I mean, whatever's in there is ours. Like, presumably we put it in there. We should be able to open our own secret compartment. All right, 72%. Let's do it.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Let's slide that drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
I just realized that the reason I almost died of morale previously was because the chat took points out of Psyche, didn't they? I didn't really get what was happening there. I just thought, oh, I'm about to die from morale? I'll use the heal item, but I didn't understand why that... Now I think I understand why that happened. Okay. Because a point was taken from Psyche to put it into something else. Got it. Okay, the compartments open up. What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Let's pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Okay. And let's pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
But why would this be in our secret compartment? Let's smell it.
It smells of chewing gum. Apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon. The end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Let's open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand.
Oh?
Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
I think this is the first time Volition has said anything. But it will make me happy, right?
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
Let's go.
Shivers is giving us a command. That's a first. What was that?
Frisson covers your entire body. A feeling of cold. A persistent chill.
Okay. Both Volition and Shivers are telling us not to read this. Well, why don't we leave that to the chat? What does the chat think about that? Should we throw the card into the wind, or should we read the card? Well, let's click on the vote and see what people think. I mean, it seems like curiosity is winning out. Yeah, certainly is. 65% of the chat has decided we're going to read this card despite 2 separate attributes telling us not to.
Your hands shake, holding onto it. Every morning when I step out, you're asleep behind me. It says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
I guess we need to keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
We've read this far. Can't stop now.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Well, I mean, Endurance is telling us to hold on, so let's attempt to.
To what? There's nothing.
Yeah, to hold on, there has to be something to hold on to.
Detective, is everything all right?
I guess the only thing to do is fall sideways. And then we begin again.
There is nothing.
Now we've heard that before.
Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout.
Well, I guess the only thing we can do is lie there passed out.
Well, Almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who is that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who is that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow.
We are familiar with the shadow.
Because it's always there.
A new thought? Was that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Well, I guess we just have to lie there motionless if we can't do anything.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
No, I don't wanna.
There is no use arguing with me. You will die if you don't. Drink.
There really is no use arguing with him. This is him exerting the reserves of authority he usually withholds. You can't even try to resist. All you can do is...
drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Probably would be a good thing to know if you decide you're going to become a massive alcoholic. Let's drink some water.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Well, it looks like that it might be that Volition and Shivers had the right idea after all. Our investigation was interrupted for a little bit by the onset of perhaps a highly emotional memory coming back to us, though we can't seem to really remember what it is. But it seems like we remember the negative emotion associated with the memory, even if we don't remember the memory itself. But that might be a good time to just stop our little Disco Elysium session right now. We're learning some facts, such as, well, I mean, we examined the body. We attempted to get the body down, and, you know, I still feel that maybe we should have given Kuno the gun. I mean, if neither of us could have gotten it, and like maybe he's a crack shot. We don't know. Give the youth a chance, is what I'm saying. We were able to examine that dumpster, though it would have been much more satisfying if we just used our incredible muscles and that pry bar. Still disappointed that that didn't work. We found our ledger, you know, the thing that we're actually taking our notes in. That's probably a good thing to find, you know, since we're investigating a murder. I'm sure we wanted to find that so we could actually take notes down for this murder that we're supposed to be investigating. Good start, I think, probably. As we continue on, well, we're next to Kim's car. We could use his headlights to look at our files. Where Half-Light wanted to know our kill count, right? So probably we'll use his headlights to find out our record and how many people we've killed. We could use the radio in Kim's car to call our precinct. We should probably actually end up talking to Kuno. Was kind of avoiding that because, you know, it's Kuno, and I was just seeing just what could we get done in that area without directly engaging the gremlin that was in the middle of the yard there. But I suppose we should actually attempt to have a conversation of some kind with him. It's probably what we're going to be doing. Also, in addition, I have been getting some points. I can level up. I suppose, though, this is since we're ending right now, probably a good time to ask, what stats do you think I should be putting points into? I mean, if this is Bully Demise, it would probably be physical instrument all day, but maybe there could be more entertaining stats to put some points into. So hey, let me know, what categories do you think I should be putting our points into? And you know, we'll just build in that direction. We can look at our thoughts. Hobo Cop is at 81%. Some Kind of Superstar at 64%. A White Morning is the new one. Let's take a look at that before we go. Temporary research bonus, -1 authority. Little guy gets further and further away. Research time 5 hours. The problem, you see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter. At the mention of what? A great white object, letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. I honestly have no idea what it's saying, but this is a potential thought that we could internalize. I have some idea what Hobo Cop and Superstar could be. I don't know what this is. The description is not really telling me. But like I said, let me know what you think I should be putting my stats into. As it is, we will save a game. It has been auto-saving, but we will do that. And we will say goodbye for right now with Disco Elysium as we begin the journey of our investigation. I still think we could probably just tear the body down at this point. We shot it in the chest. I don't know if an autopsy is really needed. We could probably just grab it and tear it down, and we are strong enough to do that. We will see next time.